Of course, always. It's Friday night, the sun is shining. It's another gorgeous day in the Northwest. These are the types of days that we really look forward to as we endure February. And I hope you're soaking it up. On this type of day, everything seems great, including Portland. Before you get your email fingers ready to go, let's discuss this. This week, Time Magazine included Portland in one of its World's Greatest Places 2022 editions. Yep, they've decided Portland is one of the top 50 places in the entire world. They included it right up there with the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, which is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world. Also, the island paradise of Bali, Indonesia, and the International Space Station. Apparently, the definition of the world goes pretty far out there. So is Portland really on that same level? Well, certainly it's a beautiful place and there's a lot to offer here. And the city has been growing fast in the last couple of decades. People do like it here, and for good reason. We have a mild climate, some of the best access to nature in the country, and a unique personality all of our own. But we also know that Portland's had its share of problems. We have thousands of people sleeping in the streets and a shortage of affordable housing. The last few years have seen an increase in gun violence and homicides as well. And we've seen racist violence and extremism play out over and over. Portland has not always had the best reputation in the national media, especially in the last few years. But Time thought differently. And so we contacted the author of the article to find out what made such a great impression on her.
During this time, I think it was the food. I tried every kind of cuisine, I think, in a course of 4 days. From Australian to Malaysian, Thai, we had Filipino to Sri Lankan, to Scandinavian. It was like, you name it, everything was there. And these were very authentic mom and pop restaurants that served kind of very original flavors in a very unique way. So it's not like your typical hole in the wall restaurants that we have been talking about for years. It's more elevated ethnic food and presented beautifully and drawing some really good flavors too.
Yeah, you'd like to hear that. The author, travel writer Sucheta Raul says Time is looking for places that are doing things well.
It's not greatness we are looking for from an all-time perspective or greatest in the world, but it's as it concerns 2022, it has come a long way and it is continuously improving. And what are some of the changes that are happening this year to make it better? And I think that's what is part of this issue, and this changes every year. So, we are always looking for destinations that are different. They're constantly improving themselves and attracting people to come and visit.
She says she thinks that Portland fits the bill in large part because of the city's attitude of inclusivity. She was impressed, as you heard, by the variety of cultures represented in Portland's food scene, but also by things like the sensory room at PDX, which is a calming room designed for travelers who have anxiety or are on the autism spectrum. Raul says she recognizes that Portland is not perfect, but she travels a lot, so she's seen a lot of places that people criticize. She said she has enjoyed her visits to our city.
Some of the times when I tell people I'm traveling to Portland, the first thing they tell me is what they heard in the news. But I have traveled to so many places that I get the same question, and it's not Portland. It may be Mongolia. It may be going to the Middle East. And some of the questions I get from people are totally based on what they have heard and what they know, and may not be the true reality. So my job as a travel writer is to actually go there, physically experience and convey to people my findings and my observations. And I did not feel unsafe when I was in Portland, even with everything that you said around protests, homelessness. I never felt uncomfortable. I stayed in downtown. I walked around late in the evening. So for me, I think the city is different from what media points it out. Yes, things happen everywhere, but it's only once we go there and experience it that we really know what is actually going on.
How about that? There's a refreshing take. Now it's your turn. Tell us what you think. Does Portland deserve to be considered one of the world's greatest places, or do we still have a lot of work to do? Send your email or leave us a voicemail. The email address is thestory@kgw.com. The phone number is 503-226-5090. I look forward to hearing from you.